We're officially recording, boys. We're officially... Everybody say hi to YouTube. This is ridiculous. A 500 team trying to get our strike at 3 in the damn morning. Oh, now this is hilarious. Today's video covers the topic of Earthstrike, primarily what it's been like during this 3-month grind to obtain it. As you might imagine, the past 3 months of my classic WoW life have been rather tedious. But if it's so tedious, then why do it? Why do you even want to start this grind as a player, let alone as a hunter? Well, it's an easy enough question to answer, but first, welcome to my channel. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe and give this video a like. It really does help the community grow. Also, be sure to check out the links below to follow my Twitch stream and join the True Shot Brigade Discord. With more than 4,500 members, there are tons of tools there to aid you in your classic hunter journey. Not to mention thousands of other players like yourself, willing to help answer any questions you might have, including myself. Now, on to the video. Most people question the validity of completing this grind. Why do it? Some folks ask. It seems like too much effort for something that'll just be replaced in AQ40. Well, I'll grant you that. An item like Jom Gabar is slightly a better upgrade in place of Earthstrike. But to simply write off a trinket because there's a slightly better item that may drop off a certain boss in a certain raid that you might have a shot at rolling on may not be the healthiest way to view Earthstrike. And besides, Earthstrike's not the only item here that can be achieved through this grind. Plenty of healers and casters and other physical DPS have plenty to gain from completing this quest chain as well. Plus, as a side note, these quests are totally repeatable. Not that you could wear 2 Earthstrike trinkets anyway, but it's just a nice kernel of knowledge to be aware of. Shamans, paladins, for example, could farm up multiple champions battle gear to get whatever possible rewards they wish to have. There's also the Stalwarts battle gear, which has amazing rewards for casters such as the Rock Fury bracers. These cloth bracers are bis for certain casters. There's also some handy pre-raid bis pieces here if you wanted to farm these up on an alt and reward yourself some nice gear outside of raids. The Earthweave Cloak and Band of Earth and Might are some honorable mentions from this category. As for hunters though, Earthstrike is a mighty powerful weapon to have in our toolkit, and it's one that I've personally been salivating over for months. Even back in Phase 1, shortly after I hit level 60, I was calculating how much time it would take to pursue Earthstrike, and I was mentally building up resistances to the idea of being stuck in the same zone for months on end, assuming that's what it was going to take to become exalted with the Cenarian Circle. I'm happy to report, however, that grinding out reputation and Selthis throughout Phase 4 wasn't as time-consuming as I'd previously assumed. The server's most intuitive minds got together to create a world chat room and made it accessible by typing in /join CC rep. This made communication between equal-minded parties altogether simple and painless. Almost constantly there were groups farming Templars, Dukes, and Royals alike. Something I know a lot of players did was commit to playing an alternative character and leave their mains parked in Cenarian Hold. The moment they caught wind of a group forming, they'd hop over to their mains and jump right into the rep grind for a couple hours, or maybe all of just 20 minutes. Regardless, it made the rep grind seemingly effortless. All they'd have to do is hop over, make a few rounds through all 3 Twilight camps, and before you knew it, you'd built up enough rep by defeating all 3 Royals, half a dozen Dukes, and countless Templars in an efficient amount of time. I remember a day myself when I built up nearly 6,000 rep through only a few hours of work. That would only need to happen once or twice a week, and you'd be done with your rep grind inside of a month. But sadly, that wasn't as readily available to most other players on different servers. But I'm confident that if you can implement some of these similar strategies yourself now, and just add them to your repertoire of farming rep casually through AQ20 every week, before you know it, you'll be exalted in no time. As for the post-rep grind process, it was kind of easy at first. My cohort, Maniac, and myself had actually pre-purchased several sets of mats for the logistics portion of the quest chain. It didn't take us half an hour and we had our 20 logistics badges. But then it was on to the tactical portion of the chain, which anyone will tell you takes more than a smile. For Maniac, it wasn't too bad. He'd gotten lucky on his journey and snagged up the follow-up quest, the Four Dukes, fairly early on, while I was left to go through nearly 20 plus follow-up missions until I finally received the quest myself. Later, in the same night, we had even formed a group to quickly knock out the Four Dukes quest, and voila! By the end of that first night, we completed all logistics, all tactical, including the Four Dukes portion of the quest chain. Of course, we'd been exalted by this point, so all that was left was combat badges. Now, you're probably asking yourself, why did you wait till the last minute to do combat? Aren't those typically the easiest things to do? Sure, but our logic was that the first 24 hours, there was going to be a rush to kill all the mobs in all these hives, because that's what most people were going to be able to do right off the bat. And sadly, we also had to make time for our raids Wednesday and Thursday night of this past week. So that also ate into some of our time too. But for those that stuck around on Thursday night's stream of last week, and as the footage you're seeing can attest to, the grind for the combat badges was far more invigorating than I could have imagined. At one point, we're competing for a spot, and the next thing you know, we've got a solid group of 5 hunters coming and going. We literally carved out not just a single room, or even an entire underground hive. No. We staked claim to the entirety of Hive Zera, and everything both above and below it. It was quite the spectacle. I have no doubt that we turned what normally would have taken 9 or 10 hours into a 5-hour speed clear. Most of the hunters in the group were active members of the True Shot Brigade to boot, so shout outs to all of them, and I wish them all the success they can muster in the future of Classic. For the most part though, at the end I couldn't be happier that I chose to embark on this long quest chain. I know a lot of folks are probably simply going to take the easy route and achieve Earthstrike by gaining rep through AQ20, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But there's just something to say about obtaining an item at its earliest possible moment and being able to take full advantage of it in the newest raid content. And as for the burning question in everybody's mind, no, I can't say I've had much of a chance to test it just yet. I was well spent last week after farming up both the title charm and completing Earthstrike inside of a 48-hour span, along with adjusting to the new raid schedule with having AQ40 and AQ20 launching, of which there will of course be a new video covering that topic next week, so get excited for that. But for those of you that haven't decided on whether or not to go for Earthstrike, maybe you're on the fence, maybe you're not sure, I hope this video persuades you to take the plunge. It's a worthwhile investment, but so incredibly worth it. Sure, it costs you a little bit of gold to farm up to buy the logistics portions of the quest, or the logistics mats for those portions of the quest. Then there's also the time investment in doing the tactical, which can be kind of tedious depending on which ones you get. Waiting for that 4th Duke can be a pain in the butt, as I can attest to, or can be quite painless. Maniac can attest to. But regardless, you'll make a ton of friends along the way. And it's one of those memories that only Classic can offer you. As for me, now that Earthstrike's behind me, I'm going to have to wrap up my thoughts on AQ40 this week and prepare a video for next Tuesday. And I'm also going to be putting Dharmal Tribute on the shelf, as I'm officially putting that grind and that farm behind me. It's time I moved on to jump runs. With Naxxramas fast approaching, arcane crystals are going to be in high demand. So it's time to make that switch. And also, let's not forget that the rank 12 grind is going to kick off as soon as I'm done with Dharmal Tribute and jump runs are in full swing. Once I have everything in the stage set, I will be ready to take that plunge into the rank 12 grind. So be sure to come by and check out the stream at twitch.tv/saltyzera. As always, I love you guys. Thank you so much for your continued support, and I wish you all a very happy hunt. Let's turn it in! Let's go, boys! It's Earthstrike time! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! There it is! Oh my gosh, does that feel good? Ho-ho! This man's like, I prefer the 2 gold. Man, get out of here, bro.